The gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. World Cup, U.S. Open Friday, Dan.
The United States is back in action after what has felt like a decade since they last played. That's World Cup group play for you. We got a best bet coming your way on the show right here. Carmine Bianco, who is on an 8-0 run in the World Cup, going to get you a winner in that one. We're also going to talk Turkey and Paraguay. But right now, and Teddy Covers also coming on, we're doing some MLB. He's going to start us off right here at the top. For you non-soccer lovers, we'll lead with MLB. But where we truly will lead, Andy, is with the play of the day. And we're going to the pitch. I love this one, Andy. Let's go. What are we betting today?
Well, anytime the U.S. plays, we have to do some kind of play in there. So I was dancing around. I was like, USA tie or double chance parlayed with corners. No, and I was like, you know what? I think both teams score today. And minus 105 is just too, it's just too good of a price. The U.S., I think we've learned they've come to embrace this really frenetic, like high-paced, high-energy style. They're going to score against Australia. But I also think this team hasn't quite gelled enough. Don't forget, they do not have a lot of experience playing with each other. They have a lot of injuries and a lot of, there's going to be some missteps. There's going to be a lot of highs and a lot of lows. So the USA, the last 3 games, this has hit. And I know Turkey didn't score against Australia. Dan, do you know how many shots they had? Did you look this up?
It was crazy. It was 30. Crazy. That's
30. So Australia has scored in 4 out of their last 5 games, including the friendlies and the World Cup. So I think we see goals in this one. I don't mind the over, but I love both teams to score. I'm pretty surprised that this is only minus 105. I was expecting a minus 130, minus 140 type of thing with what we saw from the U.S. in the first game. I think this is an incredible watch. Give me both teams to score.
Yeah, Australia with only 28% of possession in that game against Turkey, and they still were able to find a 2-0 win there. And Andy, the thing for me is USA, for as dominant, they had a Paraguay team that had an own goal to open the game, and then Paraguay just rolled over. And USA does what they do in every single match. And what is that? They found a way to concede, and they always let up a goal. Only 10% clean sheet percentage. So if you think this is a 1-0 for USA, I think you got another thing coming. I think this game actually might be a little bit cagier, a little bit tighter than some expect. But we'll see what Carmine Bianco thinks. For us, WagerTalk Today play of the day, both teams to score. The Americans have to love that. We got goals coming your way here in USA. At least that's what we think. See what Carm thinks in a few. Teddy Covers is coming on. We'll talk Boston and Seattle Twins, Diamondbacks. The man has a 5% rocking this evening in MLB. You want to go and grab that, Andy. So I say we bring him right in. Teddy Covers right at the top. No Yanni on the show. He is traveling, folks. He will be back on Monday, but we got rock steady Teddy Covers with us instead. Teddy, how we doing, brother?
I'm doing swell. And it's not just a 5% big ticket today, Dan. It's the very first 5% big ticket that I've had all year in MLB. I don't put out a lot of baseball big tickets. Something's got to really jump. I mean, there's got to be 2 things that are happening when I'm putting out an MLB big ticket. I got to be hot, and I'm in real good current form. We've won every game all week. So I'm hot, and something's got to jump at me. And this one really jumped at me. So for what it's worth, the first 5% big ticket in MLB of the season goes tonight. Get it right now on my homepage, www.buzz.com/TC.
I love it, Teddy. We're seeing it well, so we fire away. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, Teddy, first off, Teddy, you're always hot. You're always crazy.
That goes without saying. Unrelated.
My clients would disagree.
Well, we got a couple games to talk about here. So I want to get started with this Boston-Seattle game. You got a couple of night games here. So it's a pretty good pitching matchup here. You got Suarez, who's been good. I would say the 2-3 record does not indicate how good he's been kind of across the season. And then you got Miller, who's been pitching really, really good. And the over-under reflects that. 6.5, very low total, kind of a straight pick 'em. How do you break this game down?
Yeah, look at the Red Sox getting betting market respect in this ball game, which, at first glance, Seattle looks really short in this game. Why are the Mariners pick 'em at home against a Boston team Boston's not playing good baseball. All right. They just got swept at home by Toronto and losing the last game, hitting 2 home runs to tie it in the 8th, and then watching Chapman blow it in the 9th. That's a gut punch of a loss for the Red Sox in their most recent ball games. They've lost 4 in a row. They're 2-8 in their last 10. The quotes, coming out of just kind of Falefa talking about after yesterday's loss, quote, swept at home in division. It doesn't get worse than that, right? So hopefully we just go to the West Coast and play well. We got to go on a streak. We got to get on a streak now. It's time to go on a streak, or else we're going to be having new players in the locker room. So we got to figure it out ASAP. And certainly when you're talking about motivation, and baseball is not a game we talk about motivation a lot. But when a team's going to get blown up, the Tigers are talking about it today. The Red Sox are talking about it today. Teams that were supposed to be in contention that aren't in contention, that aren't going to be the same team after the trade deadline. There's urgency for squads like Boston right now in this stretch run between here and the All-Star break. And the Red Sox, for as weak as they've been, they're not as bad as their record would. Okay, they're 12-25 at home. They're getting clocked at Fenway. They're 14 games under 500. And Boston's not a 14 games under 500 team. They might be a 500 level team. They might not be a great team, but this isn't a bottom feeder squad. And they played 500 level ball on the highway. All right. Seattle has their own issues. Their issues have a lot to do with injuries right now. The top 6 guys in the Mariners batting order all have missed at least one game this week due to injuries. They've got guys coming in. They've got guys coming out. The quotes from manager Dan Wilson, quote, "We're banged up. No question. We've had some injuries over the last week." So Seattle's not healthy by any stretch of the imagination. And the Mariners, talk about Ranger Suarez going for Boston, who's been pretty good. The Mariners, number 30 out of 30 MLB teams in OPS versus lefties. They just haven't hit lefties all year. So Seattle's lineup is scuffling. They're not a healthy team right now, and they can't hit lefties. So all of a sudden, you look at the urgency for Boston, and you say, yeah, maybe we can take the Red Sox in this pick 'em price range in this ballgame. Maybe the markets are telling us something, that despite Boston's struggles, they're pick 'em here. And obviously, Miller for Seattle's been pretty good. His track record against the Red Sox is not that good. If I'm going to get involved in this game, we'll play a little contrarian here and look at the Boston side. And again, you're not even getting a plus price, but it's basically a pick 'em price range. But I think the Red Sox live in Seattle against a slumping Mariners team that just can't stay healthy.
Teddy Covers got a 5% MLB play is up. Teddy, I don't believe you and I have talked since the Knicks took down the Spurs to get the title. What was your take on that series?
I made money. I used to, back in the day, I was a Knicks fan. And I was Mets, Jets, Knicks, and Rangers. And my entire, from the age of 5, I got the Mets in 86. I got the Rangers in 94. That was it. And now I got the Knicks in 2026. And you know what? I can't say I was rooting for them. I didn't care. I was rooting for the under. That's all I had in game 5 with the under. I didn't have a series bet. So there was no, my days, once again, it has proven that my days of fanhood are long in the rearview mirror. That said, when it comes to a series we talk about, does experience matter? I don't think we're ever going to see a series in which one team might have more talent, but the experience factor for the other squad was that big of a difference maker. It mattered in every single ball game, mattered down the stretch of every single ball game. And obviously the Knicks made the plays that they needed to get their first title since 1973. So fun ride for New Yorkers. And obviously note the difference in the hype in the NBA this year when the Knicks win a title compared to, let's say, last year when the OKC Thunder won a title. The different level of social media circulation with the Knicks winning a title, and that's something that we may want to remember for the future.
Yeah, I know that the Spurs were favorites to win the series, but I think we have very short memories. The Knicks, what happened to the Spurs this year kind of happened to the Knicks last year. They learned from it. They got better. They win the title. I thought this was a great postseason for the Spurs. They got their experience. They made it to the finals. They got close to victory, but then they tasted defeat. I feel like this team's going to be a buzzsaw next year. Like they're hungry and they got the experience. I don't know, man. I thought this was a success for the Spurs.
So I wouldn't argue with any of that. And certainly if you go at the start of the season or at the start of the playoffs, tell San Antonio, you're going to reach the finals and lose in 5. They'll be like, okay, and okay. So it wasn't, they'll be like, great, we're in, obviously when they beat OKC game 6 and 7 and they were, $2 favorites against the Knicks, there was a thought process that, all right, maybe the Spurs are going to get there right away. But the markets after New York won game 1, the markets immediately, it wasn't like, all right, here's San Antonio bounce back. We didn't see the game 2 line go up. We saw the price for the series move to Knicks being favored after game 1. And that was the markets telling us something for sure.
And finally, then we'll get to MLB. I mean, where does Brunson rank now with New York athletes? I mean, he's got to be up there. Jalen Brunson with New York, the legends of New York. Where do we put him? I guess time will tell. It's kind of it's too early to tell, but man, this guy's got to be up there, right?
So again, when I was a kid in New York in the 70s and 80s, all we heard about was Dave DeBusschere and Bill Bradley and Willis Reed and Clyde Frazier and Earl Monroe. I could still, the 5 Knicks starters for the championship teams in 69 and 73. And they were a decade plus later. You could name all 5 and none of them had to pay for drink anywhere in New York City. So Jalen Brunson will get that, for sure. Cat will too,
Cattle, yeah, he won't have to pay for a drink, but he'll bump into somebody at the bar and get called for a foul immediately. To be on the bench. So, all right, we got to talk about the next game here: Twins and Diamondbacks here. Connor, if you're going to get married, get a pre-lip. Is going against the Twins here. A little bit different story here with the pitching matchup from the first game. Over-under is 8.5. Arizona, pretty big favorite, minus 170. Do we have any faith in the dog here?
So I look back at my records, and I really haven't done much with either one of these teams this year. I haven't bet on or against the Twins a whole lot. I haven't bet on or against Arizona. And I started thinking about why. It's worth noting. Why haven't we bet a lot about on either on or against these two teams? And with Minnesota, my read was just wrong. I thought Minnesota was going to stink, and it's pretty clear they don't stink. They're not good, but they're not a bottom feeder. This is a 500 level squad. And again, they started 12 and 16, and Minnesota's 24 and 24, the last 48 ball games. That's exactly what we expect them to be. They're certainly in good current form. They just won 2 out of 3 against the Cards. They swept Texas in Texas, so won 5 of their last 6. The lineup is clicking right now. They scored 9, 6, 5, 4, 12, and 9 runs the last 6 ball games. Buxton and the Pounders, we can call them. Byron Buxton again with another strong season for Minnesota. And of course, coming into this game, they haven't used a high leverage bullpen arms. The bullpen for Minnesota has been very dicey this season. It's probably their biggest weakness, but their best bullpen arms all available today, even though Joe Ryan only went a relatively short outing yesterday. And I mean, they're still bottom 5 in bullpen ERA. It's not an area of strength, but this bullpen is in relatively good shape tonight. Worth noting, Minnesota is now the number 1 over team in MLB. They surpassed Washington in terms of most overs this season. Now 48 and 27 to the over full season. Arizona's not there. Arizona's 40 and 32 to the under full season. And again, the Diamondbacks, I talked about what Minnesota did early on. They were 12 and 16, 24 and 24 since. Arizona started 13 and 8, and they're 25 and 28 since. 500 level baseball. That being said, they're 7 and 12 their last 19, but they're 3 and 1 the last 4. So current form, medium form, there's no clear direction where Arizona is trending right now. And I've really felt that way. I talked about why I hadn't played Minnesota much. My read on them was wrong. Arizona, I haven't felt this team trending one way or the other all year. I haven't seen, Arizona's going to go on a good run here, or Arizona's a fade right now. Let's look to Foster's fade for Arizona the next week or two. I just haven't seen a whole lot of that from the D-backs. Now, Michael Soroka, he's been throwing gems, and he's an under pitcher. 7 of his last 8 starts, he's allowed 2 runs or less. The last two, he's both gone 7 full innings. He's an ace right now, and not necessarily being priced like an ace. But Arizona's just 4-4 in those 8 starts, even though he's been throwing gem after gem. You know, they're not winning for Soroka of late. You talked about Connor Prelip, and, you know, everyone wants a Prelip before they get married. You know, a rookie lefty, his first time through the league, we like these type of pitchers. Each of his last 5 starts, that being said, has been high-scoring affair, 10 runs or more for Prelip. So Soroka's an under pitcher. Prelip's an over pitcher so far. Last time out, only 2 strikeouts and a career-high 98 pitches. The swing and miss stuff isn't there right now, and that's certainly a concern. And, of course, his quotes after the game concerning as well. Quote, "It's been a long time since I pitched this long, besides last year. My body's felt fine this whole year, but the last 2 years have been really big for my development. It's getting better and getting better every outing." That being said, when you get a hurler off a start in which he says, "It's been a long time since I pitched this long," that to me is something of concern. Is Arizona worthy of laying this price? I think Arizona's going to win the game, but I'm not just asking them to win the game. You're asking them to win the game, you know, at more than 3-2, you know, more than 60% of the time in this price range. I do think Arizona wins. It's a slight lean Arizona. It's a slight lean over in this ballgame. But honestly, of the 2 free plays that I've given out here on today's show, the Boston opinion is stronger than the Arizona/over opinion for this one. Just 2 teams in Arizona and Minnesota that I'm not trying to force reads in MLB. I don't have to have a read on every team all year long. That's not the way you make money betting baseball. You find a handful of teams, you get good reads on them, you play them again and again, and that will change throughout the course of the campaign. But at least in terms of current form, neither of these 2 teams have been a regular part of my repertoire for today. Will lean. These aren't bets that are the money's coming out of my pocket for Arizona or the over in this one.
Well, Teddy, you know, we do the fun head-to-heads, and we'll do, you know, we do like give away 3-day passes, and someone went head-to-head with you and lost and got your 3-day pass and ended up winning with you because he got your 3-day pass.
Awesome.
So,
Win-win scenario.
Absolutely. So shout out to Sean. Being a man of my word made me money buying Teddy's 3-day pass. So being honorable in defeat made me good money. Awesome.
That's
stuff,
awesome, Sean. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the kind. I appreciate, you know, look, I don't have a lot of big tickets in MLB. I really don't. You know, this is my first one of the season. Maybe by the end of the playoffs, I'll have, you know, 5 or 8. I mean, I'm not going to have a ton of them. That being said, if you want to get on board, today's a really good day with the 5% big ticket. And we appreciate your support very, very much. And thank you for the kind comment. I'm glad I made you money.
Yeah, absolutely. So 5%, first 5% of the season, Teddy. You waited until June 19th to make your first 5% of the MLB season.
I don't force big tickets in any sport. And when it comes to baseball, again, there's got to be 2 things. You know, I got to be hot right now. You know, I got to be in good form and seeing things clearly. And the game's got to jump. And this one, you know, it jumped off the page of me. And when they're jumping off the page of me and I'm in good form, bang, let's fire away. So, yeah, first one in mid-June. Like I said, I don't know if I'll have 5 all year, but I got 1 today.
Awesome stuff. Teddy covers. Really appreciate you jumping in, breaking down baseball. Good thoughts on New York and 5%. Go get Teddy's 5% best bet. What are we doing? What are we doing if we're not riding with Teddy on the 5%? Thank you very much, Teddy. Seriously. Yeah. So
if it's the first, like, you have to. It's just obligatory. And we still do, Andy, have that buy 3, get 3 days free. So sure, you can, you know, hop in, grab that play if you just want the 5%er, but WT.buzz/TC. Take advantage of this deal while we still have it. You can get the whole entire weekend plus into next week with the guy who's seeing it great right now, WT.buzz/TC. And this offer, Andy, is also good for anyone at the site. So
yeah, absolutely. So we had a weird day yesterday, Dan. We went 3-1, profitable for all access clients.
Of course.
We lose the 5% in horrific fashion. I wouldn't mind Carm's reaction to that. Actually, we do have to get Carm's reaction, but we joked earlier about like bad read on a play. Our read was perfectly fine.
Yeah. Rare bad read, which will have a graphic for folks starting next week, which is pretty awesome. It wasn't even a rare bad read. So full disclosure, we love check on the money line. We love Czechia on the money line yesterday. It was only -130. Price was great. And then an inexplicable penalty comes. What's the point of VAR if you're not even going to take a look at what happened in that South Africa game? They get the penalty. We kind of knew what was going to happen at that point. But the bigger thing for me, Andy, is we can bemoan the penalty. I would still make that play 9 times out of 10, or 10 times out of 10, excuse me. I thought we were on the right side. But someone we talked about, and Carm and I talked about in our preview before the tournament, was some of these European teams and teams that are not going to be acclimated to the climate in which they're in, even though they're doing a stupid juice box break and breaking these games into quarters, which I think is ridiculous. But even with that, we were worried about the legs of some of these teams. And by the 55th minute, I mean, Czechia just looked like they had nothing left in the tank. So the counterattack was wide open. Sure, it's a penalty that ends up screwing us, but something that we worried about in the tournament, it bit us in that game. But Andy, we keep on moving, and we're firing today.
Yeah. So, Joseph, I lost big time when I bought your 5%. We always preach, get all access. Joseph, apologize for the 5%. It was I thought it was a bad penalty kick that got awarded.
Yeah,
so
I completely agree.
Yeah. And what's frustrating is all access clients win a couple of 4%ers and a 3%er on the day. So we get to come on here and say, hey, we were profitable yesterday, knowing full well it's all about the 5%.
The one that everyone bought. There, so it's brutal. That's the nature of those 5%ers, and that's why we remind people too, it's only 1% more than 4%. You know, we cashed a couple of those, but full transparency, Andy, the big ticket one, the one that people came in to buy, we lost it. We lost it in brutal fashion, and that's just the nature of it. We lost right alongside you, man. We were if you saw our group chat, we were just as pissed as you were. So.
Yeah. We do have an amazing pack that's up today. We have WNBA that keeps like chugging along. 2-0 last night. That was a good one. We've got we got a couple of soccer plays. We have lacrosse. We have a same game parlay, and we have a bare knuckle. We have bare knuckle fighting championship show tonight. So it's a great day for a pack, but we can't keep emphasizing enough. Get 3 days and you get 3 days free. 6 days for $69. Just become an all access client and you get everything for the rest of the weekend. And then in the next week, we got a really bettable NASCAR race. So shout out
Lino, because that was one of our pre-flop bets. We said, hey, this number's starting to dry up, but Mexico to win the group, and they, as a host nation, first team to win their group. So pretty cool for them in a decent match. That 1-0 win last night. Beautiful goaltending out of those two sides last night. But of course, the one goal that happens was on a mistake from the goaltender of South Korea. But what are you going to do?
So I want to bring in Carm for this one, because Carm will break down these games. But let's bring in Carm because I want to get his thoughts here with the three of us. I didn't think the goaltender mistake from South Korea was that bad. Like,
it was brutal. It was brutal for him. It wasn't a horrible mistake by him. You know what I mean? How are we doing, brother?
Yeah. I'm doing great, man. I get it. The Czech Republic one. I'm with you guys on that one. I think it was a brutal call. To me, it's similar to hockey. What's a penalty in the first period is a penalty in the third. If they're calling that penalty in the Czech Republic game, they should be calling similar penalties in other games, and they're not. Sometimes the ref just refuses to go to the sidelines and look at the monitor, unless he's told he's brought over. But that's a brutal one. As far as the goaltending goes, a bit of a mistake, but it isn't one that should have led to a goal. When the goalie comes out, you sometimes expect your own defenders to get out of the way and give the goalie a chance of putting his hands on that ball. So that was a brutal one. And man, Mexico, what an atmosphere in Mexico for the World Cup. They embraced it, and let me tell you, the South Koreans, I'll say this before we move on. The South Koreans as a whole said that the hospitality that they got in Mexico was bar none the best. The Mexican crowd made them feel at home, welcomed them, made them feel good during the game. and even after the game, after they beat them. So kudos to Mexico. They're doing a phenomenal job of hosting these games as well.
Why would they not be happy to see the South Koreans, Carm? They couldn't hit water falling out of a boat last night. I would be hospitable to that team too if we get to win the group. But no, it has been terrific. You know, you always worry, not only in Mexico, here in America. I mean, you know, in Canada as well, how, you know, is there going to be a bunch of, you know, with a bunch of different folks coming into the country, a bunch of different cultures coming into the country? How is it going to work out? Through group play, it has just been an overwhelming positive response across these games, across all of North America. So hopefully that's going to be something to continue. Yeah, that's what it said. So they started throwing stuff on the field at the end. It happens. You get a little excited. They squelched it rather quickly. As someone who had South Korea plus a half a goal, though, I was kind of worrying they were going to be like, hey, you're throwing stuff, PK. That's what I was kind of hoping for, but they would have found a way to miss it wide anyways, Carm. All right, brother, let's get into this because 2.5 hours away is when the USA is back in action in what has felt like a major layover. But Carm, everyone is wearing their red, white, and blue. I don't know if you caught the colors that I'm wearing today, which makes you think, man, maybe Dan likes a little double chance action here on Australia. Thoughts here on this USA and Australia game? Because I think one of the surprises to start this tournament was Australia's 2-0 win against that Turkey A side. So you see that continuing, or was USA's 4-1 win a little bit more telling for you? How are you looking to attack this one?
I think you can look at them both ways. And yeah, you got the Socceroos vibe going there with that top you're wearing. But listen, USA came out, you know, that own goal was obviously terrible, and it puts Paraguay in a tough spot right from the get-go, you know, at 10 minutes or so into the game. And then the USA's just sort of zapped them from there. The atmosphere there was great as well, too. I don't think Paraguay are as bad as that 4-1 final result was, but the USA were full marks for that one. So, you know, I did a free play video on this one earlier, and I've been doing a bunch of them, which you'll find on WagerTalk TV as well, too. But I just thought the price on the USA coming into this one, 165, 170, is a good price. I normally don't lay a lot of VIG, but Mauricio Pochettino's got this team believing that they can compete, they can go deep in this tournament. He has changed the culture in that dressing room from guys that were there before, like Berhalter, or even the German manager when they had him here as well, too. This U.S. team's playing well. Now, Christian Pulisic, obviously a calf injury came off in that last game. He's been training, and Pochettino said he's available today. But normally when a manager says a player is available, it does not mean he's going to start. It likely means that Christian Pulisic's going to be on the bench. Now, is that a big factor for the USA? The line really hasn't changed on this one. And there are players that the USA have on the bench that they can bring in. They can bring in Tim Weah, and Weah out there with Weston McKennie. Both of them played together at Juventus, so it's a good connection between these two. Gio Reyna obviously is available. The one player I'd really like to see is the player from who plays in Mexico for Club America, Alejandro Zendejas. He's had a very good season with Club America. I think he's got 12 goals, 7 assists, and he's plus 285 to score a goal today for the USA as well. He's an offensive midfielder, and like I said, Australia won that game 2-0 against Turkey, but Turkey were the better team. The numbers that they put up in that game, it is just European teams are struggling right now on match day one. That's why I avoid playing many of them. Spain 0-0 with Cape Verde. You had Netherlands 2-2 against Japan. I took Japan for clients on that one. The Swiss tied their first game against Qatar, who got just beaten yesterday by Canada, but Swiss rebounded in their match day 2. Turkey loses 2-0. Belgium 1-1 with Egypt. Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo with Congo 1-1. And then, of course, we already know about the Czech Republic and what they've done through 2 games. European teams will be better on match day 2. And with that said, I think Australia caught a bit of a break in playing Turkey in the first game. They're not going to get that break today against the USA. USA is going to win this one as far as I'm concerned. And to toss out an anytime goal scorer. I really like this one, especially obviously he's got to be starting. Weston McKennie, he is going to pull out the old Harry Potter magic wand at plus 310 when he puts one into the corner of the net for Team USA.
Boom. So Carm, does it worry you at all though? Laying the lumber here on USA, just the fact that the goaltender, and it was a pretty fresh goaltender, has seen one shot, and it was against a dead Paraguay team that rolled over, and he's allowed one goal. You heard us at the top. We gave our WagerTalk Today play of the day. We potentially see both teams to score being in play here today. Any thoughts on that play? Any concern for what you're seeing from the net minding, or if people yell at me when I call it that, they say this isn't hockey, it's goaltending. Any thoughts about that? No concern?
I wouldn't worry about it. Listen, when the team plays well in front of you and they play well defensively, similar to what Mexico has been doing as well too. Through 2 games, they've looked very good defensively. I would rather take a team with a keeper who maybe only faced 1 or 2 shots than a team like Australia, who Patrick Beach in his first World Cup game, 28 or 30 shots on attempts on goal, 10 of them shots on goal. He literally, figuratively stood on his head. I can't see him doing that again. If they allow those opportunities, it's going to happen. You look at Canada yesterday. There were comments about the Canadian goalie was just eating pizza and playing Xbox because the Qatarians never made it over midfield in that game. But
exactly. Said, especially when they were playing with 9 men, that really changed things.
And with that said, a little heartbroken. Ishmael Kone, a very nice guy. When you meet him at some of the Canadian events that they have here, 24-year-old from plays in Italy for Sassuolo. Broken leg on that, obviously in the second half. Absolutely disgusting replay to watch. Hopefully he recovers and comes back healthy and stronger next year, but he's pretty much done for 2026.
Here's one thing I'll say too, Carm. You have something, Andy?
That was one of the craziest replays of a player being hurt I have ever seen. Like we've seen some bad injuries, but when they cut to him and his face when he's holding his leg and you can see just disgusting, man. That was really.
People
really
want to say soccer isn't a physical sport, and then you see something like that happen. Yeah, this is your one rough tackle away from that happening with the lack.
It wasn't even that. It wasn't that rough of a tackle. It
wasn't.
It was kind
a
of
freak.
It was. Yeah. The problem was that his plant foot never released. So as that force came through, his foot was still fully planted and it didn't come up until the leg snapped, obviously.
It goes right through me. But Carm, let's stay in this group here, USA and Australia, because I think, when you're handicapping that Australian and USA game, you can't be agnostic to what happened on match day 1. And this Paraguay team, they were never even in the game. That own goal, you just saw them completely deflate. And as we were heading into this tournament, we had a question here. Somebody saying, hey, Dan, do you still like Turkey Eye? And for me, heading into this, I wasn't so sure that USA was the best team in this group on paper, because this Turkey side, when they are on top of their game, Carm, they are a extremely terrific club. However, when they're not on their game, like what you saw against Australia, one thing goes wrong for this Turkey team and it snowballs. That's what happened to Paraguay in game 1. Does it happen now with Turkey again here in game 2? This one's a super interesting handicap here, Carmen. You kind of see it reflected. Even though Turkey's the favorite on that 3-way line, you're still getting some plus money. Super intriguing handicap to see how this group shakes out. How are you looking to bet this one, Carmen?
Yeah, there's going to be overreactions. Obviously, a lot of overreactions, and I talked about it with Joe Ranieri just a little while ago with the predictive markets on Spain drawn in that first game. But you look at it against Cape Verde, but you look at it, Turkey in this game, they did pretty much everything right, with the exception of winning the game or scoring a goal. But we've seen European teams struggle on match day ones. And a reason for this is the seasons end in late May. A lot of these players on these teams are playing for some of the bigger domestic clubs in Europe, and they're still in the European competitions. They're still in their domestic league cup competitions. And then they have to sort of turn this over and get ready in 10 days. And the team needs to be in sync. And a lot of these teams aren't in sync. If you watch the friendlies, and while I don't put stock in friendlies, you got to watch the first 45 minutes of it to see the starting units and when they're misfiring. And the Netherlands was a perfect one. I took Japan plus the half a goal because Netherlands in their 2 friendlies kept misfiring. They lose to Algeria at home in Rotterdam, and then in New York, they barely beat on a 97th minute penalty Uzbekistan 2-1. You look at this Turkey side, 72% possession. They created 1.36 XG off of 30 attempts and 8 shots on goal. And it was only Patrick Beach that kept them at bay in that game. This Turkey team's going to get better. They were one of the favorites to win this group along with the USA. And my mind hasn't changed on that. Turkey and the USA are still the best teams in this one. It is important for Turkey to get that win today against this Paraguay team before they play the U.S. on match day 3. Get 3 points, and it gives you about a 67% chance of making it into the round of 32. Pick up an extra point against the USA with a draw. 4 points gives you a 98.5% chance of making it into the final 32, and that's off of thousands of the model attempts on the games. So 4 points will get you in. 3 points gives you a better chance of getting in than most teams, and goal differential comes into it. So I think that Turkey wins today, but more importantly, I think there's going to be goals in this game for Turkey. I think that Paraguay will be a little bit better, but I think Turkey is going to be much better. And it wouldn't surprise me if this is one of those 3-1 games for Turkey, and this goes over the total. And the total's at plus 110 on the over. So I do like that.
You're muted, Andy.
I know. I want to go head to head with Carm on something, but I agree with him because we want to give away
that was
a
a
3-day
perfect
flex
breakdown.
pass. It was a great breakdown. Let's go through the other games today because we got to give a 3-day flex. We got to give away a 3-day flex pass.
How
so
about this one?
Carm. Okay,
let's do Brazil and Haiti. How's that?
The minus
what
900?
you get Haiti money line and we get Brazil.
No. Let's do the goal line. What are they favored on the goal line?
Let's see.
We
2.5.
that one.
3.5. 3.5 is the total.
Here's one that I got for you, Carm. Any opinion on the total in Brazil and Haiti? And if it's a client play, let us know. We won't give anything away. 3.5 is the total in this game. Do you have any vibe on that? Because 3.5, that is basically assuming you're getting a 4-0 Brazil win, or Haiti gets their first goal, which would be a massive. Just getting a goal against Brazil for Haiti would be like winning the World Cup, Carm. So thoughts against the team in Brazil that concedes to everyone. Any thoughts on the total? Maybe we can get head to head on the total.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. Well, I'm leaning to the under in this one, even though I think Brazil wins. The number that seems to fall for me is, if you're going to go an exact score, I would say Brazil wins 3-0 and this game stays under the total. Unlike Curacao, who literally the island almost blew up when they scored a goal against Germany. I don't see Haiti scoring against Brazil. Brazil came off that tough game against Morocco. 3-0 I think is the final score. So I like the under in this game.
Okay, there we go. Care to make things interesting, Carm? I will take the over. I got 4-0 or maybe 3-1 on this one. So Dan, let's give away a 3-day pass. Tell everyone how they can win.
All right, folks, we somehow got there, and we're talking Brazil and Haiti. This game goes tonight at 8:30. All you got to do is comment below. Do you think this game is going under 3.5? Drop Carm in your WagerTalk username. If you think it's going over 3.5, comment Andy in your WagerTalk username. It can't push because we're talking about the hook. So we'll let you know on Monday who is the winner. If your side wins, you're entered in to win a free 3-day flex pass. And Carm, when they win that flex pass, either backing you or Andy, you'd be a great person to use it on because the World Cup has been a terrific start for you and your clients. Tell them about what you got over at your page, brother.
Yeah, a couple plays up for today, an 8-0 run while I was in Vegas. So I was pretty happy about that, picking up 25, almost 26 units. And with 2 plays up for today, Saturday's card I'm still working on, but I've already loaded a 5% play for Sunday, a game in which I really like. I've named it the mismatch game, but that's just a moniker. You guys can head over to WagerTalk. And if you win that 3-day package, you can use it to, if you're picking me over Andy, you should always pick me over Andy anyways. He's a much better looking guy, but look, he's shaking his head. Anyways, listen, it is all World Cup. I'm enjoying it right now. And you guys can also use coupon code WC20 if you want the full tournament package. It's normally $149. You can get $20 off, and you're going to get every single play, prop, side total that I release. And I'm going to be releasing my Golden Boot Awards. I always wait until the end of the match day ones before and wait for them to reprice it before I grab the lines that do have value in it. So head over to my page at wt.buzz/CB and click on the Wager Talk World Cup package. Use code WC20 and get $20 off.
Love it,
Good
Carm.
stuff, Carm.
Appreciate
Good
you,
stuff,
man.
Carm.
Best,
God,
yeah, best of luck. Use that code.
8-0?
Yeah, baby.
God,
I know.
that's tough, man.
We started 5-0, and I was like, Carm's like, hold my beer. I'm in Vegas, and I'm still gonna go 8-0. Carm, keep that run up, man. We love the soccer info, folks. You can also check out Carm on today's edition of the best betting show ever. He's been joining them, giving some World Cup breakdowns. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. Carm, your solo gamers are also terrific. They're even better now that you're back in your home studio with your good mic. So we'll see you next time, Carm. Keep cashing, brother. Appreciate you. WT.buzz/CB. And folks, don't forget to comment below. Carm, if you like the under in that Brazil game, under 3.5. If you'd like the over, Andy, and your Wager Talk username, and boom, you're entered in to win a free 3-day flex.
All right. So the prop line, we've got a bunch of same game parlay videos that are up. It gets you through the weekend. So we're going to be doing one every single day throughout the World Cup. But Dan, let's go through World Cup. Yanni wasn't here, so I'll go through UFC, and we have a bare knuckle fighting championship that's available on FanDuel. I'll break those down here, give you guys a play if you want. And I will be live for the BKFCs. I'll go live at 8:30. Go early to break down some fights. So let's go through these World Cup games. Carm did a good job. USA, Australia. He likes USA. Scotland, Morocco. What are we doing in this one?
Yes,
if anything.
Scotland, Morocco is the only game that we didn't talk about here on the show. And, it's starting to get a little priced out now that you're seeing it at -155. I like Morocco to win this game. They just match up really well with this Scotland side. And, Scotland, for all the ballyhooing that they had heading into this tournament, they had back-to-back games finding the back of the net 4 times. They only mustered up a goal against Haiti. They just seem like they sleptwalk into this tournament. And for Morocco, a 1-1 draw against Brazil was a terrific result to keep them in this group. Now Morocco sees this matchup. If they're able to get a win here, they got 4 points in really nice position. Depending what happens, Brazil, it's kind of a foregone conclusion. They probably pick up their 3 points. They're a -1,000 favorite. So Morocco knows they have to keep pace in that one. The part that worries me is maybe both teams to score is in play. I mean, this Scotland side should have some firepower. It just doesn't wake up, which is why both teams to score stayed off the client card for me. When it was -130, I was interested on Morocco on the money line. 155 and higher, it starts getting priced out. So Morocco or pass would be the play for me in this one. I think they're positioned really well here on match day 2 to get their first win of the tournament.
Under 2.5 for me. This has.
I like that too. Yeah, 1-0, 1-1 wouldn't shock me. Even a 2-0 Morocco win wouldn't be surprising.
Dan, USA game over 1.5 parlayed with Brazil team total over 1.5 and Morocco team total a half parlayed
over a half
114.
Okay,
not bad.
So the more legs you're starting to put in there, Sean, the more worrying I get. But I like that over, just like Andy does. And Brazil, if that game is going over 3.5, Brazil figures they're scoring 2 goals in that one. USA, I like that you're not saying USA team total because we talked about it. Both teams to score, we're thinking, is in play. So there's your 2 there. Morocco, I do like them to score. I don't see this ending up as a 0-0 draw, even though Morocco is a stout defensive side. They still have some offensive firepower, and Scotland has shown the susceptibility to maybe be a bit open to some counterattacks. Games typically go under in Scotland games, so it's not going to be some big goal affair, but you're only looking for Morocco to get on the board at a plus 114. That's not an awful bet.
No. So, all right. Let's blast through MMA and BKFC before we get. Why is Dan wearing an Australian color shirt?
Well, don't you know that I am like
Fair.
the king of reverse mushes? So you should be happy that I'm wearing the ruse colors. But yeah, I was a glutton for punishment, right? I took Paraguay plus the half goal, not a client play, but I'm doing it again. I'm taking Australia plus the half a goal. So I'm wearing the Australian colors, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I lose money because go USA, but that's just the way I see it shaken out. So I'm glad you noticed right at the end of the show there, Seth.
Absolutely. All right. Let's blast through MMA and BKFC. Main event, Tony Soto and JC De Leon. I think the value's on De Leon plus 215. Soto can get a little wild. Probably goes the distance, but I think the bigger moments might go to De Leon plus 215. Great price. Nathan Rivera is minus 1,400 against Trey Martin. If you just want to make like a quick buck, Nathan Rivera will murder Trey Martin. This will not be a fair fight. Bobby Taylor, Angel Hernandez, no opinion. Prince McLean versus Jeremy Karshner. I lean Karshner, and then I saw him on face-offs, and Karshner is old and fat, just like me. Cole Farrell and Anthony Foy, minus 310, no value on that one. Rayvon Baxter is going to kick the shit out of Junior Hicks. First round KO incoming. You heard it here first. And then Zach Russ versus Kelvin Rayford. Zach Russ threw a fight a couple years ago to Dylan Budka, who is a wrestler. He threw a boxing fight. It was one of the worst acting jobs you've ever seen. Like he got hit in the chin and he just like dropped to his knees and threw himself down. And then we have, I don't know if it's a fixed fight, but a guy opened up at minus 170 and now he's plus 132. Robert Fichtner is going to beat Joby Steffensmeyer. We move over to UFC. It's not a horrible card. The main event's amazing. Manel Kape versus Horiguchi 2. I kind of lean Horiguchi at plus 130. I think his speed and stamina is going to be just a little bit too much. Kudalaba Sterling, no value in this fight, but if I was going to take it, I'd take it not to go the distance. Vinicius Oliveira is minus 305. Take Oliveira to win that one. Hyder Emil, Christian Rodriguez. Probably the value is on the dog in this one, but not a bettable fight. Melsick is terrible. Magomedov's going to probably knock him out. I like the under 2.5 rounds on that one. Kevin Boras, Andre Lima, you're not betting that one. Bia Mesquita is going to run through Melissa Mullins. Take Bia Mesquita to win by finish. You can take the under 1.5 at plus 120. Alan Nascimento is probably going to beat Mitch Raposo by submission. Gaston Bolaño sucks, but Aswell is minus 425. Take Aswell to win by decision. Leon Shabazian, there's a lot of value on Shabazian at plus 310. He's pretty good. This guy he's fighting is not very good. So plus 310. And then Carol Rosa, even money. I like her against Santos, and that is your UFC breakdown. How's that?
Boom. Look at that, baby.
Not bad for
strong. You can breathe plays.
And then I'm just kind of keeping my eye on the U.S. Open. So Dan, Dustin Johnson was tied for the lead, and now he's outside the cut line. Tough for.
That's how this weekend will go.
Tough for Dustin Johnson. Yeah, rough. So, all right, guys, great week of shows. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to all of the guests. Dan, you're locked and loaded for a PLL prop tonight. That is included in the pack that we have. We just have one pack up today, guys. It's got everything that we have on the board today. So grab that wt.buzz/AL. Go watch the prop line. These videos are like 4 minutes long. It gives you a same game parlay each and every day for something that you can lock in and go USA, man. Come on. We need soccer in this country. We need a big soccer run from USA. So, yeah, RJ, we have Morikawa over Bryson DeChambeau actually as a client play. Morikawa tied for third right now, winning that one. If we can get DeChambeau to miss the cut, nice, easy cash. So, you like Morocco to win? All right, I'll root on Morocco for you. We don't have a client play in that one, but yeah.
That.
Squad ride, as Dan likes to say.
Squad ride, baby. Squad ride, Andy. Wait, let me see if I can get this in before we're done. I think we have the squad ride, don't we? Is it in here?
Do we have a squad?
Yeah. What?
It's
just
a
put over let
ride.
it and put squad ride.
I can make the squad ride. I already made the rare bad read drop that I sent to Dan. So
we got to use that next week.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, guys, it's a big weekend. Good luck on all your bets. We'll see everyone Monday. We'll recap everything and get you ready. World Cup is in full force, man. You got Teddy's 5% best bet. You got Carm on an 8-0 run. You've got a million plays from us. So go to WagerTalk.com and get one of those specials. Get that 3 days and get 3 days free. Good luck on your bets. We'll see you every Monday. Take care.